What's good, everybody? This is another R&P segment here, and we're bringing you breaking news. It is 2023, and colonization is still happening to this day. Who would have thought?
Ooh.
If you're here, you can tell by the title of the video. Again, it's some controversial political stuff.
We'll try not to make a lot of jokes, but you know us.
But guess what, Steve? It's not really controversy if you break it down.
Okay.
So you said you personally don't know too much about
I don't.
Israel versus Hamas / Palestine situation there, right? So I'm gonna break it down, and I'm gonna give everybody some short history. I'll do a very layman's terms of it. I do know more about it in whole, but I don't know too much about it. Like I don't
We're
have
not
the whole.
experts.
Yeah, but I could definitely tell you the history. So
Okay.
all right. So the Wayback Machine. Once upon a time in a land not so far away, there was a world war.
Yep.
And in that world war, people were persecuted of a certain religion based on the ideology and the scare tactics of one man trying to unite a nation to do what he wanted it to do. That man was Hitler, and those people were the Jews. Right? They were put in internment camps, and many terrible things happened to them, many atrocities. And after the end of World War II, those people were set free, and the world basically wanted to find some way to basically alleviate some of the pains and wounds that these people have had to deal with for their time during World War II. They didn't decide on a great reward.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say something nuts, but I'm not
yeah, so reparations were given, and one of those reparations was given to Jewish people.
My fault.
And one of those was basically the UN got together. They picked a little spot in the Middle East that was said to hold great significance in a lot of religions, but in the Jewish religion, and they carved out a little piece and basically named it what it would have been back in that time of Israel.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So the land of the Jewish people. But what many didn't really account for back then in the 1940s was people already lived there.
Well, that's what most of the time America and most countries do.
Yeah,
you don't account for the people that live there already. You know why, Rick? Because we're doing something. They don't matter.
They don't matter. So no, but honestly, right?
Yeah.
1940s, right? They were like, we're gonna give you Israel, the greatest significant place that your religion has, and it could be your land, and you have it, and you run it, whatnot. But Israel had already become something different. Palestine, right? People lived in Palestine.
Yes, they did.
Palestine had a government. They had homes, an economy, trade, farmers. They had everything, right? And you would think, oh, they're going to give the Jewish people this land here. What are they going to do? Like build houses or like, try to expand out to give these people land, maybe in the parts that people don't inhabit? No. They should do them smack dab in the middle of the map. And the issue with that is they had to kick people out to put people in. So yes,
I didn't know that part.
Yes, they moved people out of their homes and basically said, this is for these people that you had nothing to do with in this war. You had nothing to do with this. But we're going to carve out your land, take it, and basically give it to them because some white dude in Eastern Europe did terrible things to them, and so we have to make it better.
They're like, well, I don't want to leave. Do your fucking part, man.
Yeah, basically. And so with that, conflict arises.
Yeah. I will believe.
Years and years of conflict. Over time, Israel starts to expand because they're being funded by the United States and other world powers. And so they're getting more military. They're getting more sophisticated weapons. They're building walls. So basically they're kicking people out of their homes and building walls around and basically saying you have to stay there because...
The Israelites?
Well, the Jewish people. Yeah. Hey, don't turn it to Kanye now. Don't turn it to Kanye. Yes, the Jewish people did that. Yes.
Oh man. Okay.
And it's a funny thing to look at.
Ye might have been.
Well, that's the thing that's going around the internet. Because right now we're looking at the boiling over of decades of an apartheid system We haven't seen an apartheid government since South Africa. And look how that turned out. Nelson Mandela, everything like that. Israel's been doing it. But nobody has a problem with it because they're God's people, or whatever a magical book says.
That nigga don't even give a fuck about us. What are we talking about?
Somebody thinks so.
That nigga left us 2 million years ago.
Yeah.
That nigga don't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't.
All right, go ahead.
But and so we're seeing in our current time of 2023, we're seeing the continuation and in some cases the end result of colonization, but in a time period where those people could fight back. So before, when it came to America, it was the scattered Indian Native Americans. See, I almost used the American history term for them. But the Native Americans, the pockets of them that existed, would ride around on horseback and with rifles that they stole from white men who tried to take over their land, would fight back in rebellious terms of guerrilla tactics, hit and run, scalpings, to basically tell people to get off their land and stop trying to steal their stuff. It didn't work out for them.
And now they have reservations on their own shit.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. And so, they fought back like that. This world is a little bit more advanced than that. So those people, while in the situation that kind of boiled over was an attack on a music festival, hundreds, close to 1,000 Israelis were killed, men, women, children. It was a terroristic attack, right? That is true. 100%. That needs to be condemned. Those were innocent people. They didn't deserve to die.
No.
That's what I'll say. They didn't deserve to die. Nobody really deserves to die except a handful of people. Those people definitely did.
Yeah, those people didn't know.
The problem is looking at it from the one scope of this wasn't terrorist. There, as of now in history, there's only been a handful of moments where it was just literally bad people doing bad things. Usually it's always some type of cause of effect. Like 9/11, terrible terroristic attack, but we were involving ourselves in the Middle East. We were hunting down. We were involving ourselves in wars that had nothing to do with us being the world police, killing their family with bombs and whatnot, and they retaliated by hijacking a plane and throwing it into the World Trade Center. Not what people would want the response to be, but it's kind of like, how can you tell someone to react? But you can definitely feel terrible about the tragedy and the loss of life. But this situation shows that it's also a moment of, this is reaping what you sow, and it'll continue to be so as long as injustice is being done. At this point, the Palestinian nation that did inhabit that land is now just a speck on the map that is Israel. When at a time it was at one point half and half, it was less than. And it just, because of the backing of other nations to Israel, they've been losing more and more ground and territory, to the point where their people are being treated as refugees in their own country. And Israel, in response to this terrorist attack, has forced all of the Palestinian people to starvation. They took away food, water, internet, electricity for the punishment of the terrorists.
Wow.
Yeah, they basically said, because the terroristic group Hamas did this attack, we will deprive you of food and water and punish you basically for what these terrorists did. That's basically if...
That's like when Japan did that shit and what we did.
And we bombed the whole...
Sorry, not we.
No,
what America did. Yeah. America did.
And bombed the whole city.
No, before that. Gathered a bunch of niggas.
The internment camp?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean mass punishment?
Yes.
You mean a war crime?
Yeah.
That we then had to reparations?
I know we've talked about this already. I know this is not about us. I know black people always try to make it about them. I get it. Everybody else has got fucking reparations. Stop us. Fuck.
Well, Steve, they would have to acknowledge that they did wrong by that.
They did with the Asian people.
But they
and the Native Americans, they acknowledged that they did something wrong to them.
Yeah.
Even though the reparations the Native American got ain't really reparations, because you just gave me a piece of my.
No, they don't have to pay taxes.
I guess.
They're tax exempt.
But it's like a nigga that's like, Rick, I take... You got a whole pizza. I take your pizza that you bought with your money, and then I'm like, here, you get a slice. That's crazy. Yeah. And you know what? On the next pizza, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy as fuck. But they still got something. Asian people, as far as we just found out, because I didn't know this previously, they got reparations. Jewish people got reparations, even though it was a fucked up way for them to get reparations. I didn't know that whole backstory to it. I just thought they just gave them a piece of land that wasn't inhabited. Yeah. But apparently it was.
We got our reparations.
What we get, Rick?
They treat us like humans now.
Barely. Sometimes. But yeah, just back on this situation. Sorry,
now,
it's not about us. I know.
Israel is continuing to basically just commit war crimes, and the world seems to be just trying to sweep it under the rug. Okay. And the regular everyday people are like, no, this isn't right. And the world is telling us that we should be empathizing with Israel when in turn we should be looking at what the situation is as a whole and figure out what the best and right thing to do in this situation, because that's what America always usually does. It wants to police the world, make sure justice is done, all that stuff.
Which we need to fucking stop.
Yeah, but when it comes to certain people with certain interests that we have and hold, we tend to turn a blind eye. And I feel like that's just what's happening with this situation, and I feel like it's boiling over, and it won't be the end of it at all, and a lot of people have been throwing their hat in the ring. I will stand here and say with all of my chest, free Palestine. Literally,
no, that's a fact.
Literally, if I got moved out of my home
for something that I didn't do. Yeah. Now, if they were the ones who did
they weren't.
That situation.
Like, if they carved out a bit of Germany and said, here's Israel, that'd be a whole different discussion.
Yeah, because then it's like, that's the least y'all could do. Yeah. Or found a piece of land that isn't being used.
Oh, that's a lot to ask for, isn't it?
There's a lot of land not being used, Rick. It's a lot of land.
But it won't be easy.
Like, somebody broke it down, like, they were like the whole world, because they were like, how much would it cost to feed and house the whole world? And a dude broke it down. He was like, bro, like 60% of the world isn't being used. Yeah. And I was like, what?
Think about it like this. Which is easier? Building a house or taking a house?
Taking it.
Do it every time.
That's... Wow. So
when we do it, it's called stealing. When they do it, it's called repurposing.
It's starting to make sense now, because I seen what do they call those when it's during... It's not a comic. When it's about war or something historical, what do they call? I did really
propaganda?
Well in global, and now I can't
propaganda.
No, yeah, okay. I'll just say propaganda for now. But I seen a propaganda comic, and it was a Jewish person looking in the mirror. They were aiming a gun at a Palestinian person, and they looked in the mirror, and it was a dude with a swastika on. They were looking at themselves, and I seen that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It's basically what it is.
But from what you've told me, that does seem like what is happening, at least to a certain extent. Shit. You know what?
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine. But if America give black people our reparations, we'll figure it out for everybody.
We won't.
I lied.
That'll just make.
But I lied to you.
You know why?
Like everybody else.
You know why they wouldn't give us reparations? Because I feel like it would destroy America in a more different way. I think it would just create a racial divide that people just wouldn't know what to do with. Because it's just like it
depends on how much you giving us.
Well, not even that. It would validate what black people have been saying this whole time of acknowledging what wrongs have been done to us across, like, because if you don't even want to be like, well, slavery, you don't need reparation for that, not counting Jim Crow, segregation, lynching,
police brutality.
Yeah, if you want to use something recent, we could deserve it, but if you don't, then that's fine, whatever. But I just feel like it would just validate the black experience, let people know that no, the government as a whole was corrupt, it was doing wrong, and it was doing it just solely for the benefit of us by standing on the backs
and the benefit of the country
of people who didn't have rights.
Because regardless of what anybody wants to say, and again, I know this isn't about us, but regardless of what anybody wants to say, the country benefited wholeheartedly from that free labor that they got from millions of niggas.
Well,
they benefited wholeheartedly from that.
If not us, then who?
I'm just saying, Everybody else get their payback. I'm not saying slavery was worse or better than any other situation, but it still was a situation.
It wasn't better than a lot.
It wasn't better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't better than a lot. The list of things that were better.
It went on for multiple hundreds of years.
Yeah, the list of things that were worse than slavery isn't long. Let's say that.
People lived and died in slavery, were born in slavery, lived and died in slavery, were born in slavery, lived and died in slavery, born in slavery, alive today. I guess this
or not today.
I think there's probably like maybe one or two individuals and they're in their like hundreds, and they're probably on the way out.
There's nobody that was born in slavery no more.
When were we free?
Fuck. 1865.
1865.
So they
all dead. There ain't no 150-year-old.
No, they kids are though. Their children.
They ain't free us all at once. There was at least like
you're right.
1865.
You know, and I don't know how true this is, but Keke Palmer did a movie.
Yeah.
It was some people. I don't know if this is true.
That didn't know we were free.
Didn't know we were free, and it was the 70s.
Yeah.
Until they found out.
Yeah, I hope that's
not true. You deserve to beat the dog shit. I'm sorry. Wait. For that situation specifically, once it get figured out, you get at least 10 minutes.
Unlimited ass whoopings.
You get to beat the shit out of whoever was moving like that, because the radio was invented. TV and color TV was invented. It was a lot of things.
MLK, the marched already.
Yeah, it was the 70s. She came out into the street and she seen an actual street. She was like, "What is this?" And then a fucking truck came, and she was like, "What the?"
Metal dragons?
Yeah, like she was to hide a slew of niggas, not just one, to hide a slew of niggas. To the point that they don't know. Like, imagine somebody that's still a slave right now, right?
I don't want to. Now my goal is to travel to the United States.
It just look around. Just knock on Nick. Yo, what you doing here, man?
Hey, yo. Any of us?
Everybody straight in?
It's not for real.
Everybody straight?
Now I just want to travel. I need to make
Any
sure
colors? You see like some like tattered shit. You like, come on, man.
You free.
We've
been free.
You've been free. Look at this. I got a paddock.
And then
I got a
that's
paddock.
crazy. And then the dude gonna come and be like, "Where are you taking my people?" And I'm like, "Nigga,
fuck is you talking about, nigga?"
I got my rights.
Nah,
and I'm gonna start with the second. They have a drawn across and over.
Nigga, what are you talking about?
That's a shame.
Oh, fuck.
What do we do?
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine till it's backwards.
But why are Jewish people moving like that, though? Somebody did. That's like us.
You know who'd have the answer?
Like us moving like that.
You know who'd have the answer?
Who?
Kanye.
Oh, all right, y'all. This has been another R&B conversation. I hope you got some information. Shout out to Rick for having the breakdown.
Yes, sir. I can show you.
Shout out to Rick for all the information. He broke that down beautifully. Shout out to me for the jokes. Some of them were not jokes. Some of them were very serious. But regardless, Free Palestine. I hope everything clears up over there very soon. But at the end of the day, we love you guys.
We love you guys.
Yeah,
like I said, free Palestine till it's backwards. Palestine free.
That's a fact.
R&P moves, R&P groove, ayy. Yeah, I've been in the R&P mood, ayy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, R&P moves, R&P news, ayy. Yeah, now we make